morning. Welcome to my studio. Today is going to be my first day of play on the inside pages of my journal. I started kind of towards the beginning, and I'm going to be using the colors found on the cover as inspiration for the colors inside of the book itself. I see some gray, I see some green, I see some red, and blue, you know what I mean. Alrighty. And look at that. Doesn't that tell me about something about doodling? Okay, so let's take out these two pieces from this corner tuck. And this is pattern paper cut into a star and sewn down the middle, which gives dimension up at the top. Just too much fun to stand. So I'm going to set this one aside, but where I can glance at it for inspiration. And we have the piece of paper with the gold marbling on it that was included in the journal. And this is a piece of my handmade ephemera using stencil on the back, and some pretty colors and papers on the front, a label, and a piece of my papers. Now, let's see what we can do first about working on this guy. This is a piece of paper in antique, very antique paper from Rachel at Roxy Creations, and it is in Italian, and it is just, you can just tell by the, when you feel the paper that you know that it's very old, because you can almost feel the rag in the paper. So, let's take a moment now, since we don't want, I'm not going to want another label, I'm going to set that a little bit aside. And now let's find another flower. I just feel the urge to be flowery today. Why? I haven't the slightest idea. But flowery is speaking to me. Or birds. Changing my mind. Maybe a bird rather than a flower. And look at this baby in a nice grayish color, which would work very nicely with the gray on the front cover. Is that still enough? No, I'm not sure that that's enough yet. Let's see what we might have here in the ephemera pile. Oh, and aren't these a grayish shade? Oh my, isn't this just wonderful? And let me tip this over. And if I tip that over just right, I ought to be able to put the bird on that stem. Does that do it? Well, I do think that it certainly does. Isn't it incredible when you don't really have any idea what you're going to be doing? It comes to you when you start playing in your toys. Let's get the blue book. And my card. And some Elmer's Extreme. Now let's see how we want this to go on here. So we have one flower and two flowers, and now we're adding our third, and the stem is pointing to the rosebud. Remember that for me in case I forget. The stem is pointing at the rosebud. Remember to put on plenty of glue. Okay, stem pointing at rosebud. Out of the way, birdie. And the birdie. Now let's get this on so it looks like he's connected. Well, hasn't that just improved that writing spot? But I'm not quite happy yet with this. I think we could have just a little bit more here. And I'm thinking I'm going to be using teal. So I know that I have a teal. I have a teal Le Pen, and I do love Le Pen. So let's just add a little bit of Le Pen just the tiniest bit. You can go quickly. And here's another one. Let's go up here. And there's this one. This is a Tim Holtz stencil. And there's one more here. And there are 5 of them. And I think that added just a little bit of a touch. Let's do a little bit more with the center of these. And I think that I'm going to add some leaves just because I want to. And this is an olive green Le Pen. Now, are we set? Yes, we are. I'm a happy girl, and that's the name of the game. Now, anything else here? Now, this is not a lip pen because it's got a brush tip. And I'm thinking, and it's a gray to work with the background color here. Let's see if we can't add just a touch more. Well, I definitely think that was just what was needed, and I don't think it needs any more. Okay, let's set this aside now. And look at the envelope. The birdie's back. Now, I think a piece of this will do very nicely. I think we'll put that over here. Sure this is upright. Yes, it is. Just a little bit less. That's better. Thinking of the colors on here and here. Let's see if we have a small green. No, much too big. That'll pop the green forward. We'll do that. If we put something on that covers up a lot of that, that will be fine also. going to put that over here. Let's look at, I took out Versacolor in charcoal, and my collection of postage clear stamps. Let's see if I can find my small here it is, right on top. Now let's see about a stamp. Maybe a stamp and not a stamp. Know that you understood what I meant. This is a stamp. Wouldn't she be pretty up there? And I don't want a big one. Wouldn't she be pretty there? Yes, sirree. Now I don't have decaling scissors, so I'm going to have to rely on the decal on the edge of this stamp. That didn't take too much of a forage. Okay. There, that's a little bit better. Let's see how this is going to do. Okay, and much too big. much too big. See what this one's going to be. I can never get it released. Let's just see what we have here. Just the ticket. Very good. I believe I got this box of these treasures in Tuesday morning, eons ago. Now I know let's have number 1411. Okay, let's put these aside. And this. Now, I'm feeling flowery still. Let's see what we might have here. Let's see about this one. I think I'll keep those leaves. You never know when you might want some leaves to embellish. Like now. There we go. I'd like to be able to see that glue. Fingernails to hold this down. I'm wondering if this actually might need a little bit of let's have just a little bit of walnut stain. Just a little bit, because there is some over here, and I believe it's walnut stain. Yes, I framed the piece nicely with just a little touch of Distress Oxide walnut stain. It does not steal from the gilding on here, but it does close the edges in a little bit. Very good, if I say so myself. Now let's have another look . Okay, put this away so that I can open the journal. Okay, they both have to go this way. There we go, and I'm happy with that. However, I do have an urge to add a little gray to the notes. Why I'm doing this, I haven't the slightest idea. Well, now the leaves have turned into looking like flames, but we know they're leaves. I'm thinking here. My BFF and I have had an adage that we use all the time: when in doubt, plunge. I'm in doubt, so I'm plunging. This is one of my very favorite collections of pens. I love Le Pens, and I thought I was buying a grouping of them when I purchased some of the other ones, but they are hard tip, brush tip, so I'm quite happy to have both types. Now, let's see what happens. Well, I do believe that I'm going to declare this page finished. I'll put this one over here so that you can see it. And here is the envelope. I do hope you have enjoyed working with me today in my studio. I will be back soon because I just cannot wait to begin to try my hand at some of the other pages in this journal. I do hope you have enjoyed today, that you are well and finding some time to do some crafting of your own. Please, if you have enjoyed today, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, which I do answer, and I would appreciate your subscribing to my channel. Bye now. See you soon.